Hey, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Yeah. Hey, 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 hey. Hello, hello, hello. How you guys doing, my loves? Just come out of spin class again. My one and only exercise, like I said yesterday. I'm Rosemary, Nonny night, by the way. This is the deliberate live stream. And I am the prosperity coach for spirit-driven entrepreneurs and creatives who want to change lives with their art, with their service, and also who want to create wealth online. So if that's you, you might want to send me a message or come join my brand new group, which I'm really excited about, and who knows whether it'll still be existent when you listen to this. But at the moment, it feels like the intuitive thing to do. So I'm doing it, and it's called Spiritual Entrepreneurs who boldly dare to claim the best of everything. That's what I'm calling it. So go and look for the group and go and join it. If you are someone who boldly claims the best of everything, you're a spiritual entrepreneur. Anyway, there's all that information is on the group page, so you'll know whether to join or not. Okay, so do you know the source of your win? Let's sing the affirmation first. Just come out of spin class. I might not have enough breath yet. I know my win is inevitable. I know my win is sure. I know my win is inevitable. I boldly rise and claim my win. And again, I know my win is inevitable. I know my win is sure. I know my win is inevitable. I boldly rise and claim my win. I hope you're taking those words to heart. I know my win is inevitable. I know my win is sure. Say hello, say hello, say hello. I might not be able to look at the phone, but you know, you can still speak to me. And one of the things that I do when I go to a spin class is actually, I do because it can be a tough class, which I like, but I almost like leave my body a little bit and connect with the divine. And one of the things that I was doing today was actually feeling into the energy of more than enough. I do this regularly, but sometimes you want to push the boundaries a little bit more, because we can get so caught up in thinking that what you have is all there is. You can get so caught up in believing that your physical reality is all that is available to you. And when you keep giving out that energy of this is all that I can have, then your actions, they get smaller. You start believing for less, and you start to think that that is normal, that is the normal way things have to be. But I want you to actually to be deliberate about this. You know, I know my win is inevitable, but what do you want to win at? What do you want to win at? Feel into that, and feel into what would be more than even that. What would be more than enough? You are a divine being. There's actually no limits to you except the ones that you accept, okay? So what would it feel like to feel into the energy of more than enough? Get your journal out, write about it. How do I feel when I have more than enough? So I'm not just getting enough to go to, to do some of the things that I want to do now, but I have more than enough. I can be generous. I can do whatever I set my mind to do. In fact, more than that, I can imagine new things. I can feel into more. What does that feel like? I want you to actually really get the sense of that and start to live from that place of more than enough. More than enough. Start to live from the feelings of more than enough. Hello, Kim. How you doing? Lovely to have you here, my love. Start to feel into those feelings, okay, of more than enough. And okay, the question I asked as the subject for this, or for today's stream is, who do you think your source is? Now, if you think your source is just your job, then of course you feel limited, because you know how much you're going to make every month. You know how much, you know how many hours you'd have to do overtime to get more than enough. You know all of that. And so if you start to think that the only way you can step into more than enough, or even enough for some of y'all, is if you have to work more hours, or if it's only from your job, then you limit yourself. Again, you are a divine being. When you start to think like just a physical body, having just a human experience, you limit yourself. You tell yourself that this, all I see is all I get. And so when I'm telling you to feel into more than enough, it feels impossible. Now, the truth is, even as a divine being, you know, when you start to feel into more than enough, it will feel impossible. That's fine. But you will know that you and the divine, or you and universe, you and source, you and whatever you want to call it, is a majority. And that though you in your physical form may feel as though there's a limit to what you can accomplish or do, it's not just you. It's not just you, and that is what brings that. That is the answer to the question: who is your source, or what is your source? I wrote a post about it, which you'll be seeing in a minute. But you realize that it's not just you that is your source. It's not your job that is your source. It's not your job. It's not your business. It's not how many clients you can rustle up this time. It's not whether the government decided that they're going to give you more or give you less, or this and that and the other, or the banks gave you a loan or didn't give you a loan, or whether. And it's not even just about money or anything like that. It's also about, you know, when people are looking for relationships, they're thinking, or when they're looking for love or health, they think it's just down to this person in my life. If this person that I've put my eyes on does not decide to be in a relationship with me, then I am going to be without love forever. Or if this person decides that they're leaving me, then I'm doomed forever. I have nothing. Nobody's ever going to love me again, and there's a lack of love, and so I will degrade myself in order to keep this person in my life, because there's a part of me that thinks that this person alone is my source. And it's not true. Your source is nothing you can see. Your source is like the air we breathe. If you started to think like that about air, then imagine the craziness if everybody suddenly started thinking that air. And there was a film about this, actually, a children's film, a Dr. Seuss one. What was it called now? The Grinch? No, that's Christmas person. I don't know, it's something. I can't remember what it's called. I remember the song. My name is Sly and I'm something. Anyway, if you watch the film, you know what I'm talking about. But there was one where they rationed out air. Okay, air became something that they had to sell. But we don't live. That's not the world we live in. There's an abundance of air. There's never a lack of air, because our source of air, even though we don't think about it most of the time, is the same as our source of love, is the same as our source of health, is the same as our source of wealth. But we don't think about it that way. We think air is just, we've just grown up conditioned into thinking that there's always going to be air, which there is. But it's the same way for all the other things in our life. There is always going to be enough love. There's always enough health. There's always enough wealth, unless you choose to believe that there isn't. If someone is like, okay, my daughter sometimes suffers with asthma. The truth of the matter is, I know that there's something that has decided inside of her mind that actually there's now a lack of air. And so she has to struggle for it. Doesn't mean I don't take her to a hospital or anything. Of course not, although I must admit I'm that person that yes, I try and manage it at home until I can't. If I really can't, which is not that regular, thankfully I have pharmacy background. But you know, but it's like someone with asthma. You suddenly think you cannot breathe any longer, okay? And your body goes along with it as well. And that is what happens to a lot of people when it comes to health or wealth or love. That you start to believe inside of your mind that your source is this person or this particular environment with these particular circumstances, and I better not shake it. I better not do anything to upset the balance, which means that most of the time a lot of people end up not living out their calling, not living out their vision, because they're convinced that the only way that they can have money, that they can take care of their responsibilities, is through their job. And so they're too scared to do anything that might upset the balance. And sometimes they're just, you know, you just get so comfortable in staying stuck that you don't do anything. And it's like, guys, we need to realize our source is the divine, and it's faith or trust is something that you build up. So you might tell yourself right now that, yeah, but I don't have enough faith for that. But that's because you haven't practiced your faith. And it doesn't mean you have to drop your job in order to then practice your faith. No. What it does mean is that you start practicing with little things. But you make a deliberate decision to start trusting that the divine will take care of you. That doesn't mean, again, that you're just sitting around praying and affirming forever. No, there is always physical work for you to do. And there's always spiritual work for you to do. And that is actually the training I'm doing in the new group that I've set up. You guys need to come into the group. It's Facebook. I should put the link in for you right now. If you are a spiritual entrepreneur, if you are a spiritual creative of some sort, and you know that you want to make a difference on the planet and you would like to create wealth online, then you need to come and join me in the new group that I set up, because I'm doing this training. Let's see if I can actually, no, I'm not doing it while I'm driving. I'm sorry. Shouldn't have done that. I'll do that when I get home. And now I can't see anything because I forgot myself for a second right then. Okay, so this is it. Come and join me in the group. I'll put the link in later. But in the meantime, what I want you to think about is spend some time with this, feeling into expansion, feeling into more than enough. And then I want you also to ask yourself, who do I truly believe is my source? What do I truly believe is my source? Am I actually, I talk about, you're a spiritual person, the chances are you talk about faith, you talk about the divine supporting you, you talk about praying, but do you believe it? And, believing is not just a passive thing. Faith without works is rubbish, is dead. So if your works, if the actions you're taking tell you that you think that this person is the only source of love for you, this child is the only source of love for you, this parent is the only source of love for you, this job is the only source of money for you, if you believe this business is the only source of money for you, and so you cannot ever try something different because you might lose your one source of money, if you're acting or living that way, then it's time to start practicing faith. It's time to start practicing figuring out a different way, or allowing your sources of supply to increase. That is when you start stepping into more than enough. Because if you're only dependent on your one way that you're familiar with, then you limit your capabilities. You limit the life that you're capable of creating. You are a limited person, especially if you're spiritual, honey. I can almost forgive the non-spiritual who decide that there's nothing more than themselves out there. But for us, we don't have that luxury. We cannot tell ourselves those stories, okay? We know, and I'm finally home. We come back here. We know that there's more. We know it, okay? So now I can put the link in for you because I'm home. I almost forgot myself that I try never to touch the phone whilst I am driving, basically. But anyway, we know that there is more to us than meets the eye. So therefore, we need to start acting and living like it. I'm so passionate about this at the moment and forever, because the whole project 334K, and because we see the world as it is. And I have 3 girls. I want them to grow up in a world where spiritual people rise up and start doing the thing that they're actually born to do, because we are the ones with these, we have access to limitless wisdom. We have access to strategies that the world as a whole doesn't necessarily know about yet. And so it's when we step into this bigger, this more than enough experience of life, we start to change things, not just for ourselves, but also for the people around us, also for our families, for our communities, for our nations, for goodness sake. Most people are waiting. What's that quote? Don't ask what your nation could do for you, ask what you can do for your nation. Well, as spiritual people, we have access to incredible wisdom. Some of you get ideas that you think are just crazy because nobody else has done them yet. Yet that's why they're given to you, because you are the one to do them. You are the one to do them. But you have to find the boldness to go claim your win, okay? Because we talk about, my win is inevitable, but do you really want to be winning at something you don't even want anymore? Some of you are struggling desperately to stay in a life you don't even care for that much. You don't like it that much, but because you haven't built faith, you just keep thinking that it's the only way to live. It isn't. Anyway, your source is a divine or universe or whatever you want to call it. Okay? For me, it's Papa. Okay? It's God. He is my source. It doesn't mean that I don't do anything. In fact, hopefully you see that I do a lot of things, but I do them from a place of intuitive guidance. I do them from a place of asking, what is the best thing I can do in order to get the message out, in order to reach the vision that you've planted in my heart? And then I do it, okay? And I take the work seriously because I know the impact that I'm called to have. Do you know this? Have you, and some of you do know this, but then you shy away because you haven't taken the moment to build faith. And, you're just taking care of your immediate concerns, which is why I say, feel the energy of more than enough. More than enough. Because it's not just about us. It's about the impact we're called to have on this planet. Your source is not your job. It's not your partner. It's not the food you eat or the diet you chose this time. That's not your source. Okay? Really feel into that. And yes, the invitation goes out to you. If you're a spiritual entrepreneur, whether you're currently one or you're right now about to begin, and you could do with some support. I don't want wannabes. I don't want people who are thinking and planning forever and then never actually taking action, which might be you right now, and it was me for a long time, until finally I made the decision to move my butt. So if you're ready to move your butt, then come and join me in the group, okay? I'm going to be doing some training. Well, it depends on when you've listened to this. If you listen to this late, then I've already done the training. The only way you're going to get that training, which is how to use your spiritual power in combination with online marketing strategies to get your message out and irresistibly draw clients, the right clients to you, paying clients right now. And if you want that, okay, then you need to come into the group. Come into the group only if you're actually going to use it. Please, I must emphasize this. I so don't want a group full of people not doing anything, because that would be tedious and I will close the group down. Basically, after a while, I get frustrated with it when it's just like people talking but doing nothing. Oh, no. I have to get rid of them then. I love you all, but no, I get fed up with that. So I'm just being very clear this time, okay? So that we build a community of people who are actually wanting to make a difference, who are actually wanting to make the world a better place starting right now, okay? So if that's you, come and join us, okay? Come and join me in the group. The link is right there, facebook.com/groups/spirit-driven entrepreneur. If you've been watching me for a while and, I've been doing this, I'm very consistent and I will continue to be, because this is my calling. Then you already know whether you should be working with me or not, okay? So you start in the group and then, we'll see where we go from there. So in the meantime, guys, have a great rest of your day. Share this with somebody else, because somebody out there needs to know that their source is not their job. So they might just have lost their job and thinking that the world is going to end, and it's not true. It's not true at all. They just need to gather themselves and not be scared, because it's the fear that will stifle their creativity. And in fact, the loss of a job could be the beginning of a whole new miracle, a whole new adventurous life. It really could be if we saw it that way, but mostly people get scared and petrified and then run back to the next horrible place that they don't want to be at. Let's not be those people, okay? Share this with somebody else. It's time to spread the message of the deliberate life, and, let's reach those 334,000 people. Let's start impacting the world. Okay, and I'm inviting, the right people come into the group. Until the next time, my loves, share. Much amazing love. Going in to have a shower, man. Bye.